Ever looked at a blueprint and thought, this is just the beginning of something incredible? Welcome to the Inner Blueprint Podcast, where we believe the most extraordinary builds start with you.
I'm Shawn Feurer,
the Universal Mindset Disruptor.
For over 2 decades, I've turned simple plans into remarkable realities in the home improvement world. Now, I'm here to help you do the same for your life and for your business. Make sure to take some notes, and most importantly, enjoy the ride. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Inner Blueprint, the podcast for the home improvement industry and everything mindset. This is your host, Shawn Feurer, and today I'm excited. Actually, I'm rolling solo today. We don't have a guest. I don't have Miss Caitlin by my side, but I wanted to drop some conversation, some ideas, some information just on mindset, because I think we live in a time where mindset is more important than ever, but I also think we live in a time the mindset is still misunderstood. I can't tell you, for most of my 50 years of life, I kind of knew about mindset. I'd heard in high school as an athlete about mindset, even in college and some psychology, I'd heard a little bit about it, but I felt like for me, in my career, in my journey, in my life, I never really had a crystal clear understanding of what it meant when somebody said, Shawn, you need to work on your mindset. And it's been interesting in the home improvement industry. You know, my path, my career. I grew up in the industry, started my dad's, our family business when I was 12, 13 years old, sweeping the shop. We had a siding, window, roofing company. And I've sat in every seat on the bus of a home improvement company. I've been in the production, installation side of the business. I've been in the administrative side. I've worked in the office. I've worked in sales. I did in-home sales. I did call center sales. I've really been in every position, every seat in the business. And after 20 years in the industry, I went to work for Certified Contractors Network, who I'd been a long-time member of. For 10 years, I'd done the best I could at implementing their best practices into my business. But I didn't always see the success I deserved. I didn't see the success that some other people were having with the same process. And as I went to work for CCN, and for 5 years, I was a business coach. I was one of the lead sales trainers for their sales process. At one point, I had almost 70 companies that I was coaching, and I saw a variety of results. The systems, the processes we were using were the same with every company, but the way they were implemented, the way that they were used, we got different results. An example I always use is if I taught a sales process to 5 sales reps, and I did this quite frequently over a 5-year period. Say I took 5 reps from one of the companies that came to the live training in person with me for 5 days. At the end of that 5 days, these 5 reps would go back to their company. One of them would do really good, become a better sales professional, make more money, sell more jobs for the company. 3 would stay about the same, and 1 would get worse and sometimes either quit or get fired. And I started by asking myself the question, what's going on here? What's happening? We have good process. We have good systems. We have good knowing. Why are we doing it at the highest level? And why are we getting the results? And even looking back in my own personal life, you know, I ran a program that was given to me. Shawn, go to college, get a degree, come work in the family business, find a wife, have some kids, build a life. And I did that program, and I used all the information, all the systems to the best of my ability. But as I got to about a decade ago, 40 years old, as I looked around me, the results on the outside weren't as good as they could have been. And for me, the results on the inside were a lot of frustration, some anxiety, some unhappiness. And that's when I made a decision. I've got to do something different. I've got to figure out, what is this mindset game and what am I doing wrong? You know, as I found the information that I now teach today, I've had a few amazing mentors along the way. In the home improvement industry, I've worked very closely with Charlie Gindell, with Graham Asmanian, who's a behavior expert. I've worked very closely with Jack Canfield, with Bob Proctor in the personal development space. Working with Bob Proctor opened my eyes. Bob was probably the person that first explained to me how the mind works, how the physical laws of this universe work. And it was funny because when I first started mentoring under Bob, I started talking about the laws of the universe. And I'll never forget a conversation I had with a very prominent business leader in the home improvement industry. He was at the time an owner of a training organization. And I made the mistake of talking about the law of vibration. And I'll never forget, I think he thought I'd lost my marbles. He's like, here Shawn is, a business coach, a previous successful business owner, and we're talking about the law of vibration? Like, what the hell are you talking about, Shawn? I want to use business process. I want to use business systems. I don't want to talk about vibrations. Okay, I don't see how that's going to affect my training organization. I don't see how that's going to positively affect my business. And for a lot of people, talking about the law of vibration, it challenges maybe some religious and spiritual beliefs. And so in the past 5 years, I've taken a deep dive. I've become an expert on human behavior and on how mindset affects our daily results. And I'm now more careful, especially in the home improvement space. If you're listening to this, you're probably a contractor. You probably grew up in the physical world, working your ass off, doing physical labor, maybe learning how to sell along the way. And when you get to a mindset coach like me and he starts talking about the laws of the universe, your first thought might be, this guy's full of shit, and I need some practical, understandable ways that I can implement better mindset into my business. And so today's episode, I just want to break it down. It's interesting. Today happens to be August 8th. This episode will drop in a few weeks. But in the mindset world and in the energy world, today's a powerful day. It's called the Lionsgate Portal. It's 8-8, and 2024 is number 8, so it's 888. 8 is the number of abundance. I have 8 billets in my logo. I believe in numbers, in frequency, in vibration. And today, I've been doing some powerful manifesting. I've done a lot of good coaching calls. All day, I've been thinking my thoughts in abundance, in my big goals, in my dreams. And I'm thinking that there's something magical that's going on today, and I'm sending that energy out there. And if I'm losing you, I promise I'll come back. So I just decided today, being a day of manifestation in the Lionsgate Portal, maybe we should talk about what manifestation means, what the law of attraction means, what vibration means, and how understanding it at a very logical, practical level can help listeners create better results in their life. So first off, let's talk about manifesting. What is manifesting? Sometimes manifesting gets called New Age. Sometimes it gets called woo-woo. My definition of woo-woo is a word people use for things they don't understand. And so today I'd like to share some understanding. When I'm working with somebody and we're trying to manifest better results, we're trying to manifest better finances, more money in your bank account. We're trying to manifest better health and wellness. We're trying to manifest better loving relationships in your life. What does manifesting mean? And to me, manifesting is just allowing something that already exists to come into my experience. When I was working with Bob Proctor, he talked about the greatest minds of the last 100 years. And Bob was older than me. He was in his late 80s when he passed away. He talked a lot about the Wright brothers. And he would say the Wright brothers didn't manifest the ability to fly an airplane. They were bicycle mechanics that figured out, using physics and the physical laws of this universe, how to create flight. But the ability, the physical laws in place to create flight were always there. They just removed resistance. They just found ideas that allowed flight to come to us. Henry Ford. At the time Henry Ford came up with the idea of the automobile and he wanted to manifest an automobile, most people wanted faster horses. They didn't want an automobile. They didn't know even what an automobile was. And Henry Ford took the technology at the time that was available and he developed the first automobile. And today, look how far we've come. Some of the great minds of today, Elon Musk, the electric car, Steve Jobs, the Apple products that we all use every single day. These were ideas and concepts that as they were manifested, they were already there. The tools, the internet, electricity when it was first discovered, it was already there. Manifesting is just figuring out a way to allow something that already exists to come into your experience. And for me, at 51 years old, I have manifested the healthiest version of myself that I've ever lived in. From the time I was 18 years old till 50, I went through ups and downs of being in shape, out of shape, having some dis-ease in my body, having some things that were off. But the body I live in today, when I manifested it, I didn't create it. It's always been here. It's always been part of me. I just manifested mindset tricks, mindset hacks, visualization tools, exercise, eating habits that allow me every single day to manifest, to experience the happiest, healthiest body that I've ever lived in. When I look at my bank accounts, when I look at the house that I live in, the cars that I drive, the successful business that I have today, you could say I manifested all of it. But all of it was already there. All of it was all available. The only thing that was blocking it was me and my resistance to it. And where does resistance come from? If you're trying to manifest a big goal, something that is above you, and you're stuck in self-limiting beliefs, in scarcity, in not enoughness, and maybe control paradigms, trying to do everything yourself, those things, those mindset blocks, are what are blocking your ability to manifest that which you're chasing. And I think sometimes manifesting even has a negative connotation. In some political circles in the past, some horrible experiences, there were manifestos. And manifesto is a form of manifestation. I live in the United States. The Declaration of Independence was in sorts of manifesto. It was, this is the nation we want to create. This is what we want it to look like. This is what we want the freedoms and rights to be. And out of that manifesto, out of that declaration, they created the country that we live in today, if you're listening from the United States. And so I just want to take manifesting. It's not New Age. Today, 888 portal. It's not New Age. There's energy all around us, and sometimes we get in better energy to create better results in our life. So let's talk about how this works. When I'm trying to manifest anything, I break it down to two simple things. If I want to manifest anything in my life, I have to, number one, understand how my mind works. To understand how when I think thoughts with my mind, if they're positive thoughts, how they create positive results. If they're negative limiting thoughts, how they hold me back. And as I remove the negative thoughts, the resistance, and lean into the positive thoughts, I'm putting my mind in a good state to plug into the physical world. Now, what's the physical world I plug it into? In home improvements, we understand gravity. We know if I'm tearing off a roof and it's on a 12-12 or a 10-12 pitch, there's a chance that gravity could pull me off the roof and I could fall and get injured. And so for that reason, we wear harnesses. For that reason, we have safety policies and procedures that we follow. Because every single one of us understands that if I take good mindset and I plug it into the physical world, I can't beat gravity. Gravity's all around me, and I have to respect gravity. I have to understand gravity. And if I'm up high on a building, I have to use safety procedures and protection so I don't become a victim of gravity. There are other laws in this physical world that work the exact same as gravity. There's a law of attraction. Like attracts like. Sometimes negative things repel away from each other. The law of vibration, a secondary law to the law of attraction. I can't sit here on this chair, depressed, frustrated, in a bad vibration, and attract anything good into my life. What I want, if it's up here, I have to get my mind, I have to get my body vibrating, thinking at the level above me. And I don't want to go too deep on this, but if you question, and again, I scared some people off when I started this mindset journey by talking about the law of vibration too much. But if we were to take a powerful magnifying glass and we were to look at my hand, we would see at a very magnified level that there's actually space in my hand. There's actually vibrating molecules that make up my physical hand. But at a molecular level, there's actually space all around it, and everything inside of me is vibrating. The computer I'm talking in, the chair I'm sitting at, it's at a vibration that's physical in the space. But if we change the vibration, we change the structure. And so for me as a human being, if I'm down here in scarcity and I'm trying to attract abundance, I have to get my mind, I have to get my energy raised at the frequency, at the vibration to attract that which I'm trying to attract. And you can't get anything in your physical world that's at a different vibration. My mentor Bob Proctor used to talk about cell phones. If I have a cell phone and I have the number, the frequency, the vibration that somebody on the other side of this planet is on, and I dial the number, I'm going to connect, and I'm going to be able to either talk or FaceTime with that individual because I have the right frequency, the right vibration to connect with that. It's the same thing. And again, I don't want to go too far with this. I'm just trying to dumb it down a little bit to a logical, understandable state. In the law of attraction and vibration, it's literally trying to get in the energy of what it is you're trying to attract. There's this thing called the law of polarity. And the law of polarity is a very practical law. It's the law of opposites. There's no inside my podcast studio without outside. There's no up without down. There's no scarcity without abundance. There's no love without hate. And so I understand the law of polarity, and I'm experiencing one of those things that I don't want. If I'm in scarcity, guess what's on the opposite side of it? The complete opposite side of scarcity. Abundance. Now, for every single one of us, these are called pillars of belief. On the pillar of belief about scarcity to abundance, scarcity is on the same pillar as abundance. It's just a matter of where I sit. If I look at money, most of us look at money on a scale from 0 to maybe 100,000, maybe 200,000, maybe $1 million. Maybe for some of us, hundreds of millions of dollars or even $1 billion. The set point is 0. Below 0 is negative. It's when our checking account goes into the red. It's when our company's budget goes into the red, right? That's a debt. That's a negative equity. That's below 0. And so for you, if you look at the most you've ever made, that's just a set point. 70 grand, 100 grand, 200 grand. That's where you're vibrating. If you want to get to $1 million on this same pillar of belief on money, you can work as hard as you can on the outside. You can try, but most people's experience is no matter how hard they work, no matter how hard they try, it's really hard to have big increases in the amount of money you bring in every year. This is where mindset comes in. When I'm talking about mindset, I'm talking about how do I plug my mind into the law of attraction, the law of compensation, the law of polarity. Law of compensation, I'll talk about that for a minute. The law of compensation states that we plant seeds, we put good things out in the universe, they grow, they come back to us. You know, when a farmer plants a seed, he doesn't dig it up every day. He plants it, he fertilizes it, he waters it, and a few months later he has a crop. It's the same thing in business. You know, I've seen so many success stories that people think are an overnight success, but when you go to the backstory, there's 20 years of planting seeds, water them, showing up every day, doing good work, and then all of a sudden, it starts to take off. And instead of 1 million, 2 million, we see 3, 5, 10, 15, $20 million in revenue. That's a law of compensation. If I understand that, every single day as I'm going to work, planting seeds, I know eventually it's going to grow. So how does mindset apply to this? Now, my definition, I make mindset 2 words. Mindset. Where is your mind set on abundance? Where is your mind set on talking about the laws? Do you think it's wacky or do you think it's logical? Whatever you believe is where your mind is set. And the work that I do with people is just better understanding where their mind is set, how their mind works, and then once they get that fixed or adjusted, how does that interact in the physical world to manifest better results in my life? And for me, to make it simple, to create common purpose in the groups that I coach and the people that I work with, there's hundreds of pillars of belief. We have beliefs about time, energy, money, sex, relationships, spirit, God, flying first class, whatever it is, there's all these different pillars of belief. And for each one of us, we want different things in all these different areas. I try and create common ground, common purpose, by having people focus on 3 areas. I call it the trifecta: finances, health and wellness, and relationship. And relationship starts with you. Every single relationship in your life is a mirror, a reflection of your relationship with yourself. So let's start with the pillar on finance. Every single one of us has a pillar of belief on finance. And if we look at our bank account right now, and we look at our monthly income coming in, that's your set point. And so right now, if you take it from 0 to 10, rate yourself. Think about, where are you at on your finances? Are you a 5 of where you'd really like to be? Are you a 6? Are you a 7? Wherever you are is where your mind is set. And if you want to make more money on the outside, you have to raise your set point on the inside. Now, I have lots of tools and tricks I use, but one of the most powerful ones is affirmations. And for me, when I was trying to change my set point from 0 being the starting point and comparing everything to 0 and getting out of my mind into 100,000, 200,000 was a lot of money, to $1 million was not a lot of money, I started doing daily affirmation. I'm so happy, grateful now that I'm $1 million mindset speaker. My company brings in $83,333, 33 cents every single month. That flows to my personal account. And just saying things over and over an extended period of time, I raised my set point on money. Numbers that I used to think were big now started to seem small. And it was way before it showed up on the outside or in my bank account that I changed my mindset on money. Let's look at health and wellness. You know, for most of us, especially here in the United States, the generation I grew up, and I'm 51 years old, we were taught that 65 was the retirement age. So from a very young age, this set point of this pinnacle of life was 65 years old. Now, it's interesting, statistically, and life insurance companies track this, a lot of people end up not only retiring from work at 65, but retiring from life not that much long after. Yeah, they end up getting sick and passing away within a few years of actual retirement. On longevity, 65 is a set point that was programmed into a lot of us. What if I want to change that? What if I want to live longer? Is it just about eating healthy, taking better care of my body, or is it about changing something in my set point? For me, I believe it's about changing something in my set point. So I no longer believe 65 is a retirement age for me. I believe I'm going to work well into my 80s. And for me, I want to set my longevity at least 100 years old. So every single day, I'm so happy and grateful that I'm a happy, healthy 100 years old. I'm trying to raise the set point. And as I do that, my actions around that start to be different. I start to take better care of myself because I'm programming my mind, my set point, with a higher level. And so think about that. Right now, what's your set point on money? What's a lot of money to you? And I think if you change the belief on the inside of what's a lot of money and you make a big number small, you will actually start to see some results on the outside. And I'm living proof of this, and I've got hundreds of clients that have had the same success that I have changing their set points. Health and wellness. Think about what you think about body image, about healthy weight, about energy, about mental health. Mental health is a huge challenge today, and a lot of people suffer from anxiety. There are things in your mind and set points where you're trying to control things on the outside you can't, that creates anxiety. So everything I do with mindset is trying to help change set points, to increase income, to increase longevity, to lower stress levels, to increase peace of mind. Now let's look at relationships. If we look at personal relationships, every relationship you have, from business partnerships, teammates on your company, friendships you have, personal relationships, spouses, children, every single one of those relationships is a mirror of the relationship you have with yourself. And so if you want better relationships with everybody around you, you've got to improve your relationship with yourself. And so I have people rate themselves on self-love and confidence, scale of 1 to 10. And most of us rate ourselves lower here than we should be. We're harder on ourselves than we should be. And even the most successful, powerful people that I work with, they have some level of self-doubt and some lack of self-love. And so for me, thinking about it, if you rate yourself a 6 or 7, what would it take to make it a 10? And again, I've used a lot of inside work with affirmations to raise my set point, to realize that I am enough, to realize that I should have self-love and confidence, that I am an amazing human being, that I am a powerful man, that I'm a loving man, that I'm a vulnerable man, that I'm able to have impact when I show up powerfully as me. And so again, in order to manifest the things that we want that we don't have right now, we don't create any of it. It's there. It's already there. It's already in existence. It's already waiting for you. You just have to do the inside work. For me, raising my set point, my mindset on my money, my mindset on my health and wellness, my mindset on my relationship with myself. Today, I have more money, more assets, more monthly income than I've ever had. I've got better health and wellness at 51 years old. I'm prescription free. I'm hormone free. I'm healthy. I work out almost every single day. I sauna. I cold plunge. My mental health, I have less anxiety than I've ever had. I wake up every day in gratitude, in peace, feeling better. And my personal relationships. In the last 5 years, I attracted my beautiful wife. I have a couple bonus daughters. I have beautiful connections with all my clients. Most every one of them is a dear friend of mine today. Every single area of my life is better since I started understanding what is manifesting. How do I allow better things into my life? How do I create different set points on these different pillars of belief? And how do I increase my self-love so I can experience? And for me, I'm not an overnight success. For 40 years of life, I did the best I could without understanding manifesting, without understanding what mindset. And at almost 40 years old, I find myself in not a very good position. My money wasn't in good shape, my health and wellness wasn't in good shape, and my personal relationships weren't in good shape. And so I went to work doing the work that I do every single day today. And I don't just teach it, I'm a student of it. I do it myself every day. And applying this in my life, I've gone from probably a 2 out of 10 on finances, health and wellness, and the relationships to an 8 out of 10. And I'd be a 10 out of 10, but I changed the scale. I hit a 10 a couple of years ago in all 3 areas, and then I raised the scale and I created new set points inside of myself. So let's ravel this a little bit. Let's talk. Hopefully I've given you a better understanding of the word manifesting, of what mindset means, of what set points are. And even we're talking about energy. You know when somebody comes into a room that has good energy, that has positive energy, they change the room. When they do that, that's the law of vibration at work. That's the law of attraction. When somebody's driving down the street and they get cut off by somebody, instead of getting mad, if they get grateful, if they get understanding, if they say, oh my gosh, that person must be in a hurry, that's why they cut me off, instead of getting mad, That's practicing controlling your energy. That's practicing controlling, I'm going to show up more powerfully in every situation so I can get better results. Now, a question you have to ask yourself is if right now you say, gosh, Shawn, I don't like my set point on money, or I don't like my set point on health and wellness, or I don't like my set point on self-love and confidence. I need to raise it. But before I raise it, how did I get here? For me, I remember having that conversation with myself. 40 plus years old, college education, lots of business experience, lots of life experience, and my set points were still low on the inside, so I was attracting that level on the outside. And so I had to get a better understanding. Where does your mind set point come from? And as a newborn baby, each one of us, our spiritual DNA is perfect. We are born in perfection. We have no limiting beliefs. We have great mindset. We're wide open. We're ready to learn. We're ready to be taught the language we speak. We're ready to be taught about love, about relationships, about money, about time. So where do your set points come from? Well, your set points get set one of two ways. Either spaced repetition of thought, hearing something over and over and over again, or an emotional event. And think about your money set point. What did you hear growing up? I know for me, I remember hearing, money doesn't grow on trees. Money is the root of all evil. Shawn, you have wine taste on a beer budget, kid. Those are some of the things I heard as a child. And if you think about it, that's what was programmed into me. If you grew up in a house, me as a 6-year-old kid, I'd been on welfare. My mom was a single mom raising me for a little while. We were in scarcity. I got programmed very low set points on money and on abundance because we were in survival mode. My mom was working her butt off as a single mom, and we didn't have extra money. I was programmed with hand-me-downs from the neighbor kids. I was programmed there isn't enough for this, and that's where my original set point. So for you, as you're listening, think about it. What was your set point on money? What kind of environment did you grow up in? Did you hear there was enough? Or did you hear there wasn't enough? Did you hear you couldn't want those things? Did you hear you couldn't have those things? And again, hearing those things over and over, having emotional events around those things, they definitely affected your set point. One of the most important pillars we have is our relationship with ourselves. And for me, I love him. I have a great relationship with him today, but my biological father left me when I was 2, came back for a little while, left again when I was 6, and I didn't see him again until I was in my 20s. That's an emotional event. That affected my self-love. That affected my thoughts about relationships, about marriage, about love, and it put a program and a set point inside of me. And I ran with that set point inside of me for 20 plus years of my life. And at some level, it held me back. When we talk about set points, they're limiters that are put in place. Once a set point is there, I just recorded an episode of the podcast with one of my clients, and she talked about as a young child, she had body image issues. She was told as a young girl to be on Weight Watchers at 5 years old. Outside world programming us. Your body's perfect. You're perfect. But what were you told? I had a very loving mother. She told me a lot of good things. She also told me some critical things. I had some things about my appearance that she pointed out. I thought I had big ears. I had buck teeth. I was very skinny. I got programmed over and over hearing some things that as a powerful adult male, I had self-doubt. I had insecurities. And they were all programmed into me as set points. So if you think about it, and wherever you are, whatever age you are, for me, I was about 40 years old when I learned this understanding of, okay, everything in my life on the outside is controlled by my set points on the inside. And wherever my mind is set, that's going to limit me at some level of creating better results on the outside. So I wanted to go to work. How do I make them better? Well, if I understand how they got there, hearing something over and over again, or an emotional event, that's what set my original set points. If I want to raise them, what if I use the same process? And for me, the same process is how do you hear something over and over to create a new set point? This is where the power of affirmation, the power of autosuggestion comes in. If I want more money in my bank account, I have to change my set point. I tell myself over and over every single day, I am statements about money. I am statements about abundance. I am statements about the things that I want to create in my finances. And as I say it on the inside to myself over and over and over again for an extended period of time, my mindset change. My set points change. When you think about self-love and confidence, almost everybody I've ever worked with, including myself, at some level, we're programmed to not be enough. And that happens by comparison. Think about it. When you were a student, B plus isn't good enough. A minus isn't good enough. D isn't good enough. In sports, one tackle, couple baskets, not enough. We're programmed from birth that not enough, not enough. And what that creates inside of us is not enoughness. So no matter how powerful we think we are, at some level we doubt ourselves. We doubt our education level. We doubt our ability to handle challenges. We doubt our appearance. We doubt our self-image. And so for me, I've done a lot of work with affirmations. I say every single day, Shawn, I am enough. I am always enough. I've always been enough. I am love. I am light. I am happy. I am healthy. I am whole. Every single day, I do the work on the inside to raise my set points so my mindset is at a higher level, which creates vibration inside of me at a higher level, which helps me manifest things that I want that are at a higher level. Isn't this cool? Think about how easy this could be. If right now you just made a decision of what you want and you started thinking some bigger thoughts and then you started identifying what's going on inside of you right now that's holding you back. Set points that are inside of you, that are inside of your mind, that are like a little glass box and they're keeping you inside this comfort zone and they're keeping you safe and comfortable. Now, one other thing to understand when we're talking about set points and mindset is the primary job of the subconscious mind that controls 95% of your daily activity is to keep you efficient and safe. But the only thing it knows to keep you efficient and safe from are the things that were programmed into you. So a lot of times you're in this glass box and your mind's trying to keep you safe by keeping you in scarcity, by keeping you in lack of self-love, because it's afraid if you go outside of that, you might run into danger. An analogy I use on this is I drive a SUV. It has a built-in security system that warns you if you're going to hit something. Every single day when I get in my car, open the garage door and go to back out, my garage door jamb is about 3 inches from the back of my car. My warning system in my car beeps. Beep, 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 beep. It warns me that there's something that I might hit. I've been backing out of this garage every day for over a year and I've never hit it. It still warns me. And for me, sometimes that's how my mind works. I get in a situation where I want to speak up and my subconscious mind starts beeping. Shawn, don't make a fool of yourself. Shawn, you're going to look stupid. You're going to be vulnerable. You might get hurt in a situation. Beep, 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 beep. Don't say it. It's a warning system. Most of the time, it's warning you of things that happened in your past, of things that were programmed into you by people that loved and cared about you but had their own self-limiting beliefs. And guess what? It's beeping at you, but there's no danger. In fact, there's the opposite of danger. There's actually freedom, abundance, fun, and love available if you quiet the noise of your subconscious mind beeping at you and you go outside of it. Danger's real. My garage door frame, I know if I turn my steering wheel, I'm going to hit it. For me, when I get outside of my comfort zone, I know when I run into real danger. I also know when I just run into beeping, there's just noise that's trying to keep me safe, trying to keep me efficient from something that's not true for me. So that's the challenge with mindset, and I'm not a woo-woo coach. I'm not a new age coach. I'm a very practical mindset coach. And I help hundreds of individuals every single day through my coaching program, through the videos that I put out, understand this better so we can get out of our own way. And the results we see, they're amazing. They're astonishing. They're surprising. I have clients that have lowered anxiety medication, that were afraid to fly in an airplane that now fly, that were afraid to take that risk in their business, that they've now taken that risk, and they're now seeing better revenue, better profits. I see husbands and wives that work together that have a better loving relationship because both of them are working on their mindset. I see in my own life the beautiful results of working on my mindset, of understanding set points, of understanding these little laws like gravity that sometimes hold us down when they don't have to. So my challenge to you is, if you're listening to this and you're liking this, dive into understanding mindset. You're listening to my podcast. There's lots of information out there on the internet, on YouTube. Just type in mindset. Type in the subconscious mind. You'll find lots of fascinating information. 95% of our daily thoughts, and we think about 60 to 70 thoughts a day, they run through the filter of our subconscious mind. And the thoughts that are programmed in there, the set points, they control your results. And sometimes, no matter how hard you work in the physical world, doing actual work, you're actually limited by the mind, by the power of the mind to hold you back. And the same power that holds you back is the same mind that can propel you forward. So go out there, maybe start doing some affirmations. I love working with people that are new to affirmation work. Shawn, it feels funny to sit here and say I love myself. I am love. I am powerful. I am good looking. I don't believe it. It feels funny. I don't want to keep saying it. That's the point. That's the point. The reason it feels uncomfortable, the reason you don't want to say it, is you don't believe it. But if you keep saying it over and over again, and you get through the uncomfortableness, you'll get to the point that you do believe it. I didn't always believe I was good looking. I didn't always believe I was abundant. I didn't always believe I was powerful. Today I do. And how I got here was nothing happening out there. It was nothing happening on the outside. It was me every single day. I have a routine. I get up in the morning. I do my big goal. I do an affirmation that includes big numbers, big impact, and big results for me. I do powerful I am statements. About 5 minutes of each. In less than 10 minutes, I've done my goal. I've done my I ams. And again, I am love. I am light. I am enough. And then the third part that I put into this is gratitude. Gratitude for what I already have. Gratitude for what's coming to me. I can't give enough emphasis, if you're trying to improve your mindset, to the power of raising your set point on gratitude. I'm grateful for everything that happens to me, good and bad. Everything that happens for a reason. And the more gratitude I give to it, the more good things I attract into my life. I talk about it a lot. I'm going to share it one more time. There's a 5-minute gratitude meditation. It's called A Grateful Day by Brother David. It's 5 minutes of him talking about what if today was your first day? What if yesterday you were homeless, you were struggling, you didn't have a roof over your head? And today you woke up and magically you were in your current life. I woke up in a warm bed. I woke up in an air-conditioned house. I woke up in a house that has drinkable water. There's a large population of this planet. They don't have drinkable water. I have it every day. Simple gratitude for that creates appreciation every single day. And the second pillar of a grateful day is what if you don't get tomorrow? There are people that didn't wake up today. There are people that didn't get experience today. What if I don't get experience tomorrow? I'm going to be grateful for today as my first day. I'm going to be grateful for today as my only day. And as I have that level of gratitude, everything I do today is easier. Today I started early. I had a busy schedule, a lot of coaching calls, a lot of appointments. Could be a lot of stress, but I had zero stress. I powered through the day because I started my day with my big goal. I started my day with my affirmations. I started my day with gratitude. I started my day with a little exercise, a little hot sauna, a little cold plunge to make sure I was feeling good, my energy was good, my vibration was good, so I can attract better things into my life. So if you like what I'm talking about, I would ask you to like this episode, to subscribe to the podcast, to share it with anybody that you know in your life that could use better results by thinking better thoughts. If you're in the home improvement space and you like what I'm talking about, I've got mastermind groups that get together every week. We work on this material. We work on our mindset. We network with each other. We create community with each other. My next rounds start in early September. Reach out to me. We can hop on a call. I do free strategy calls, and I help you figure out where you're currently set, where you want to be set, and how you get your mindset there so you can get the results you want. Thanks for listening. Have an amazing rest of the day. And as always, enjoy the ride. It's a good one. Thanks again for listening.
And just like that, we've laid another brick in the foundation of your incredible journey. Thanks for tuning into the Inner Blueprint podcast with Shawn Feurer, your navigator through the maze of mindset and success. Remember, every tool you need is already in your belt. It's all about how you use them to craft the masterpiece that is your life and business. Now, don't let the momentum stop here. Follow me on social media and subscribe wherever you get your podcast to never miss an episode filled with the blueprints to your best self.